Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Per usual, I'm your host, Scott Lewis. You know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barbchair Scott. The link's in the description box, man. Follow everybody in the description box. You got Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good shit. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also in the description box, and subscribe to the Patreon, man. We've got a good show on deck for y'all. We're gonna talk NFL. We're gonna recap the Super Bowl again. Obviously, if you watch the weekend recap on Patreon on Monday, you know my thoughts on this. We'll get Dante Bang's thoughts on it. And then we're gonna close the door on the 2025 NFL season. We're gonna talk some Bears. We're gonna have Pavy join us at the end of the show. He gonna tell us why we should care about All-Star Weekend, because I personally don't. But we know that basketball season is here, so y'all want to know what's going on. So we're going to have Pavy come on and tell us what's going on, man. But I got my esteemed co-host here with me today. We got the one and only JR Bang in the building. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. And we've got Dante in the house. You can follow Dante at October Zonte on all social media platforms as well. How we feeling, gentlemen? You were on mute, big dog. That is a fine. I don't know what button is right now, but it's all good.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say I'm good. I'm gonna have to clearly get up and close the shade because I'm battling with the sun right now. But I am A-okay.
Rich guy alert. Looking over the views of Atlanta.
You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all of that. But yeah, give me 2 seconds. I am great though.
Hey, go ahead. Bang, what's going on, bro?
Man, I'm good. Feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Been waiting to do this, to talk about the Super Bowl and other things. So let's go ahead and get it cracked.
Yeah, I also want to say, StreamYard, you tweaking because I don't know if this happened. I had a 79th and Hallis episode that was on the Patreon that we put on the Patreon 2 weeks ago. Hit the free feed today, and I set it up for a stream on Twitter. And that did not stream on Twitter today, and this currently is not streaming on Twitter. So I don't know what y'all doing over there at StreamYard, but y'all need to get it together. We pay too much for this, for y'all to be doing this. But anyway, click on the YouTube link right now if you're on my Twitter page at the moment, which I know a lot of y'all treat like it is a newspaper, which I appreciate, but it's also annoying at the same time. Yeah, if you think, like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see like one person, Tiff, I know you're watching, be liking like 30 tweets, and there's multiple people, and they're like, oh, you always got good stuff on your TL. Wow, I appreciate it. I don't want to see all those notifications in the morning. But anyway, yeah, so we'll talk about that. But Dante, you want to tell us about how your day was going today? You say you won something.
No, I didn't win anything. I said I spent several dollars.
Oh, you spent, excuse me,
on a new set of golf clubs. So I mean, that was,
as they say in the chat, black wealth.
For me, I play a lot of golf, so I feel like it was only right. And I say this: anybody that takes golf serious, go get fitted for a set of clubs. My appointment was at 10 o'clock. I didn't leave that till 12:45.
Yeah,
Like,
damn, nigga.
I think we hit like 350 golf balls, bro. At some point, he was like, "Bro, you not tired?" But like,
nah, bro.
we went through the whole bag. It was worth it. 10 out of 10. If you play golf, go get fitted for a set of clubs. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about the number I spent. But shout out to TaylorMade.
Shout out to Taylor. He said Dante got drone deliveries. Yeah, we know you watched this episode yesterday. Shout out to you. But yeah, man, let's talk about it. Super Bowl 60 is in the books. I was there for Super Bowl week. We ain't got to talk about that for the 100th time. We talked about that on the weekend recap. I'm trying to find my timer right now so I can. Here we go. All right. So, but yeah, Super Bowl 60 in the books. The Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions. I think the final score was 29-13. Don't quote me. I don't really remember, and I don't really care. But the Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions. Everything all good for them. But I want to talk about how bad this game was. Now, I gave my thoughts on Monday. I know some of y'all probably don't subscribe to the Patreon. If you do, you probably should subscribe to the Patreon. But on the Patreon, I gave my actual thoughts on the game. And I thought it was extremely boring. This wasn't a game where it was great defense. I can appreciate great defense. This was bad offense. And that's not to say either of these defenses weren't good, because they were. Great performances by both, especially Seattle. But this was bad defense. This is bad offense more than anything. Sam Darnold versus Drake May might have been the worst QB combo in Super Bowl history. So I want to get y'all opinion on. Bang, I'm gonna start with you. I don't know, look like you're father right now, or uncle, but
no, we good. We good.
Okay.
I'm being
Bang, what?
Look, first of all, this is what we do over here. I got crying babies. You know what I'm saying? Shout out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my nephew, Lennox. We named Lennox after, I don't know. We just thought that the name was cool.
Lennox Lewis.
We just thought that the name was cool. And I just didn't realize how much my nephew looked like me. This looked like my son.
Genes are a crazy thing.
Yeah, that's how you know these kids is part of my bloodline. Cause thanks, Mom. They all look like me. So Lennox, rock with me here. So what was the question about the Super Bowl?
What did you think about it? The game itself.
It was boring as hell. That's what it was. It was very boring. It was predictable. I know y'all said y'all thought it was gonna be close. I had said like what, 38-13 or 38-17. Yeah, so I didn't think it was going to be close at all. I thought that the defense of the Seattle Seahawks was going to take care of everything that they needed to. But them first couple of quarters, when we didn't see no touchdown, it was dry. If anything, I am upset because I figured that AJ Bernard? I figured he was going to get the first touchdown, and he got it. So I'm mad that I lost money. But outside of that, it was not an exciting Super Bowl at all. It really felt like a Thursday night football game. But it was the outcome that I expected. So shouts out to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Dante, what was your thoughts on this unfortunate game we watched last Sunday?
Man, I picked the Seahawks as well. I won't call it unfortunate. The Seahawks got the job done. I think Drake May did look like a deer in headlights, and I think it's one of those situations where we'll see if he grows from this or if it's something that really sticks with him for a while. I think he'll grow from it. But I want to give all credit to the Seahawks. They played a good game. They got the job done, and I think overall, games are not always going to be what we expect them to be. I don't know why. I think a lot of people try to shoot. If anything, people tried to shoot the Patriots so much bail about how bad their schedule was. And the reality is, no, you had a bad schedule. You played a lot of teams that were weak. And, when push came to shove, they lost. Like, if you look at the whole playoffs, their offense was bad the entire playoffs. The defense was good. Their offense was horrible. So, I mean, coming into that game with the way the Seahawks defense is already playing, I didn't expect much from Drake May or the Patriots. So I mean, I just gotta tip my hat to the Seahawks. They got the dub. They got a Super Bowl under their belt, and now you build from that. And now the Vikings, you look crazy.
Yeah, I always like to see the Vikings look crazy or anybody else in our division, but I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be back. What's that meme with Dan Campbell? That might have been our only shot. That to me is how the Patriots, I believe, are gonna gonna feel. Halftime. I thought halftime show was very entertaining. I didn't understand a lick of what Bad Bunny was saying or Bad Bunny was
Como
saying.
estas?
I don't know what he was saying.
Yeah, it was really good.
I just saw a lot of Puerto Rican women throwing ass, and I was like,
the boomers were upset.
Back. Yeah,
the boomers were upset, but it was very good.
Yeah, I thought it was great, man.
I got to work and people were saying some crazy shit, but I mean,
like what? You talking about? Like I know.
Nah, you don't want to know. You don't.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Yeah, I don't want to know. Yeah. That's the funny thing. Like it was, people just get so angry about stuff, and there was even some NFL players like, "Oh, well, we got to get somebody from America." I was like, "See, this is why." So many people need to be blamed for George Bush saying leave no child behind. There's a lot of kids who were left behind.
A lot of us were left behind, bro.
A lot of them were left behind. And we see it every day when it comes to that. But I thought it was a great performance. As I said on the weekend recap, they should never ever have the Super Bowl in San Francisco ever again because it's really not in San Francisco. I am so happy that next year is going to be in LA. Now, granted,
hey,
there
real
still
quick.
is. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, speaking of LA, before we go into the next one, did you hear Rich Eisen's point where he said, you know what? The taxes are so high, they probably shouldn't have the Super Bowl in California anymore.
Oh, I'm not mad at that. In fact,
they were talking about how some players, they game check got cut up so much by Texas.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, no, it was like, why even have the game in California?
I feel like if there was going to be one designated spot to host the Super Bowl, it should be New Orleans. New Orleans should be if you're going to have this one host, which will never happen because of money, and we all know every city got to get their crack at the Super Bowl, it should be New Orleans. New Orleans is incredible. Everything was close together. It felt like July last year. I had a good time. So that's what I think it should be. Now, granted, next year in LA, yeah, I remember from when the Super Bowl was in LA in 2022. Now, I wasn't covering the Super Bowl. In fact, I was very much Russell Westbrook looking at KD get the MVP meme in 2022. I saw all of my fellow media cohort, peers there, and I was going to the damn NFL experience. So I was kind of hot. But I remember most of the events were at the convention center downtown, and the actual game was held in Inglewood. Now, granted, that's still a nice travel distance, but that's nowhere near what I experienced last week. Okay,
I'm gonna say, and the game convention center is actually across the street from the stadium, so everything was legit right next to each other. So Atlanta's a city that we'll get it in 20. I want to say either 27 or 28.
28. Y'all get in 28.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, 28 is I can't. So basically, next to it, two cities I love being in. So. But 2027, I'll actually be able to be there for the entire week, which is awesome because, it's Los Angeles, so I can be there. But, I thought the Super Bowl was great. Where would you rank the Super Bowl in all-time bad Super Bowls? It's got to be top 5 for me. I don't know if it's the worst, but it's in the top 5.
I'm going to say that because I was actually, you got to remember, I was at the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl.
That was a bad one.
That was now you want to talk about bad Super Bowl.
That's a bad one.
Damn near, I want to say all field goals. Brady might have thrown one touchdown, but it was all
the worst one is either Ravens, Giants, or Buccaneers, Raiders. Those are the top 2.
I'm going Patriots, Rams, bro.
That's Patriots, Rams.
Just because I was there.
Patriots, Rams wasn't worse than them two, man.
It was like watching paint dry, bro. It was legit a defensive like.
This game was like watching paint dry.
No. At least you got points in this game. Like
right, that's what I was gonna say.
That Patriots Rams game, we were sitting there like, damn, they really not gonna score.
Yeah, see those Super Bowls that you named, it was blowouts, but it was storylines to those blowouts, right? You like the what was that? The Raiders? You said the Raiders, Buccaneers. Like it was John Gruden going against his former team. Right, like that. At least it's a story. What was the storyline? The same thing that I said last time we recorded. There's the same thing I say now. What was the storyline to this game? There was none.
Sam Darnold rewriting his career.
Oh, they tried to make it that, but nobody cares enough about Sam Darnold to care about his resurgence. Football fans did because they thought it was something, but outside of that, nobody really cared about Sam Darnold's resurgence because Sam Darnold don't talk. Like even when he got the trophy, he was just like, "All right, yeah, I won." So for me, the worst Super Bowl is Rams Patriots. Like you said, it was watching paint dry. Um, what was the other one? And I'm talking about since I've been growing up. That Baltimore Giants game, no, that Super Bowl. The only reason why I really rock with that because I'm a Ray Lewis fan. Um, so if I got to go deep into my '90s bag, no, it's looking at these games and just getting my memory back. Yeah, the worst Super Bowl to me is New England Rams. That game was terrible. If like with the games that I'm looking at right now, the only other game that I can really think of is Green Bay versus New England. And that's probably because I ain't want to see Brett Favre win no goddamn Super Bowl.
Yeah, my first Super Bowl that I coherently remember watching was Packers Broncos. So was that 97? I think that was 97.
Yeah,
Um,
Packers Broncos was 1998.
Orlando says Bang remembers when Doug Williams won that Super Bowl.
I mean, oh, I know it. I was around. That's one Super Bowl that you now if you would have said some shit about Johnny Unitas, that would have been one thing, but you didn't. So Bang was around for that Super Bowl. He wasn't watching it, but he was around. Matter of fact, real quick, just a story. I told my father why he was here that he wasn't ish because the first Super Bowl that I went with him to watch with him is the Buffalo Bills New York Giants. I wanted to go to the Super Bowl parties with him. He was like, "No, you kicking it with your mama." So I and they wasn't watching the Super Bowl, so I was pissed. So I do remember that Doug Williams Super Bowl, and I remember it mainly because they wouldn't let me watch it. It felt like Super Bowls was for grown folks or some shit back in the day.
Well, I remember the 97 Super Bowl. I couldn't watch the whole thing because it was on too late and it was school the next morning. So I was only able to watch the first half, and I wasn't able to watch Brett Favre fail. But to me, I still think the worst one is Giants. This Giants Ravens. Like I liked Ray Lewis too, but that was probably my first bad Super Bowl that I experienced. So that's probably one that sticks out. That game was so bad. Like if you go back and look Trent Dilfer's stats, it was ridiculous. Now, granted, Rams Patriots in 2019, I think it was, or 18, whatever the fuck it was. It was 2019. It was the 18th season, but it was 2019. I remember because the Bears made the playoffs that year. It was so boring, but at least I was of age to drink through it. So I had a good time at the Super Bowl party that I had. When I was a kid, I just had to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do nothing to do as there. I was like, all right, well, I think we took Jaeger shots that day, and I don't think that was the first time I had Jaeger. It was disgusting. But
He was out there.
yeah, this was when I allowed people in my apartment, and I threw like a little you dig. So that was cool. But yeah, the Super Bowl don't have many bad, but the last two been terrible. Now, if you're a hater and you just love hating the Patriots, you love hating the Chiefs, then the last two Super Bowls was right up your alley. So from a hate watch perspective, shout out to y'all. But as somebody who
Wait a minute,
don't hate
you didn't like last year's?
last year was terrible. It was terrible. It was blowout. They put the bangs on the Chiefs, and I don't hate the Chiefs.
See, I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind those Super Bowls. In fact, like we gotta bring supremacy back. We gotta bring whooping somebody ass in the Super Bowl. Like I miss
Fine with
those
that every
days.
10 years. I'm fine with that every
Close to
10
close.
years. I don't need that every. I didn't got that in back-to-back years. I'm
Yeah,
straight.
I don't want the. I'm cool with the we got a chance Super Bowl. No, I need somebody to win 55-10 again. Like I need some of that. I need domination, supremacy. Like I need that again. I'm good on the close game dramatics. Like give me two of those and then give me an old fashioned blowout.
I mean, yeah, if it's every decade, cool. But we got back-to-back snooze fest. Like the only time I want to blow out is if my team is in it and we're blowing the team out. That's the only time I want that because Super Bowl Sunday. I always say the final week of the season that is actually for football fans is Championship Sunday. Super Bowl are for the casuals. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's for the casuals. Like, and that's why I don't want to say I'm anti-Super Bowl party, but I kind of don't really bang with Super Bowl parties. Like, I've thrown a couple before. Obviously, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I haven't. I threw a couple before, and I've been to a couple. But most people who come to these, I invite people who mostly watch the game. Now, of course, I invite women too, just because, just want to have women around who, like, I don't give a shit if you don't know a fucking zone defense. But, you know what I'm saying? But, like, for the most part, my brother had a Super Bowl party. I didn't go. I wanted to watch the game by myself. I just wanted to watch the game by myself and eat and drink in my own company. So, but last year, the best part about last year was Kendrick Lamar performance. Like, I just didn't think it was that good of a game. So, man, but
give me the blowouts again. And Orlando Wright, give me a Steve Young 6 touchdown game. Like, give me them Dallas Cowboys, Buffalo Bills blowouts. Even because I think as I gotten older, I'm not necessarily the Super Bowl party type myself, but that's me throwing it. Like, I'll go to one if I could get there. I could go to one, but it's got to be around people that I'm cool with, comfortable with, watch the game, and be able to talk shit.
It's got to be around people who. Like, I went to one. I'm not gonna shout out who party it was because this is a known guy in the sports media space, but that's my guy. I went to a party for the Eagles Super Bowl that they won in 2018, 2017. And I shit you not, I'm sitting, it's a big ass mansion. We like in Studio City in California. So big ass mansion. And I'm sitting there, I'm locked into the game. Everybody else ain't paying attention to the game. This girl, no lie, asked me, so who's playing? I said, get me out of here right now. When you got a shootout going on between a backup quarterback and the greatest quarterback of all time, and you don't even have the absolute respect to just look at the scoreboard and know what teams are playing. And that's when I was like, I'm done. I'm done with Super Bowl parties. I'm not going to another one. So that's how I felt about that. But let's move on to the Bears. And I don't know about y'all, but the number one thought that went through my head watching Super Bowl was like, the Bears definitely probably would have lost to the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. But if there's anything we would have did this game, since Scott was kicking it with Rich Eisen. I would love to kick it with Rich Eisen. Hit your boy up. They don't even look. You don't even see Richard. This is how you know Rich Eisen is on a different level. He don't even be on Radio Row with the regular niggas. They put Rich in a different area that you can't even access. Like, I walked past Pat McAfee show multiple times. I didn't walk past when Nightcap was shooting, Stephen A, everybody. They put Rich in a different area. 2 Super Bowls running out in cover. But anyway, all I thought watching this game was the Bears might not have won, but they made the Super Bowl way more entertaining. What do you think what do you think Bears players at home should be thinking after watching the Super Bowl?
I mean, just keep building. You got to keep building. I think it's one of those things where you could always be the sore loser. Like, man, if we was there, we would have been crazy. But no, I think you lost to the Rams. The Rams lost to the Seahawks. So I think our focus should have been more so on that NFC Championship game and how that ended, and if we could have done something different there. But in terms of the Super Bowl, it wasn't your time. Like, I think the NFL, if any sport, is one of those sports where like, if you truly blew an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, if you were just, a little bit too early. So I think with the Bears, we just had a schedule, and this is something you build off of as opposed to saying, like, damn, that could have been us.
Bang, do you agree?
Yeah. I guess I can agree to that one. The only reason why I say I can agree with that one is because if I'm a Bears player, I'm like, yo, I could have beat both of those teams. Even though I think that the Bears would have lost in Seattle because they were in Seattle, I still walk out of that thinking like, man, we could have beat both of those teams. But I also, if I'm the Bears, I feel like I'm close. And not only do Bears fans think that, seem like the media thinks that because it just shows how boring and how much the lack of storylines it was around the Super Bowl. Because I saw more articles, more content, not just locally but nationally, around the Bears. The Bears got a chance. They could be a Super Bowl contender next year. Stephen A. Smith saying that he feels like the Bears will win a Super Bowl within the next 2 to 3 years. People was talking about during the game, that the Bears, this would have been a better Super Bowl if the Bears would have been there. So if I am a Bears player, I'm looking at this like, yo, we're not that far at all. So we'll see what moves they're making and stuff like that, and if some of those players that don't think they was far off will even be there. But if I'm one of those people, if I'm Caleb Williams, if I am Roma Dunze, if I'm Luther Burden, the tight ends, I feel like I am close to winning the Super Bowl in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. As a fan, I would think I was frustrated more than anything. I'm not as frustrated as I was during Championship Sunday. I was pretty upset Championship Sunday because I was just looking like, especially watching the AFC Championship game. I was just like,
Yeah.
if we just could have found a way, like have another cardiac Bears type of week and beat Seattle, we'd have won a Super Bowl. Here's the thing what I feel about windows in the NFL, and it kind of leads me to the next topic I want to talk about is I don't think windows really exist too much in the NFL. It's so much of a year-to-year league. It's a week-to-week league, but so much things change from year to year that I feel like every opportunity you have, even if it is something that came out of nowhere, you should take advantage of. Now, that's not me saying the Bears didn't take advantage of their opportunity. This season. I really think they did. I think they squeezed all the juice out of this season that they possibly could. I mean, even in the Rams game, they took it down to the wire. We can sit over here and talk about the DJ Moore thing all day. And DJ was down there. DJ accepted the award for best moment of the year at the NFL Honors, which was dope. Rome was down there. It was a decent Bears presence down there. Rome was down there. DJ was down there, DeAndre Swift, Colston Loveland, obviously Nashawn Wright, Kevin Byard. They were there at the Pro Bowl. Like, I think it was Drew Dahlman, Joe Tooney was down there as well. So it was a decent Bears presence. And yeah, all the conversation that I heard on Radio Row and just around the Super Bowl was, I say more about Caleb than more about the Bears. I think everybody said the Bears are great and that Ben Johnson did a great job. Everybody was just like, Caleb is the guy. Like last year when I was on Radio Row asking people about Caleb and Ben Johnson, there was a lot of ifs and maybe, I don't know, we got to see, da-da-da-da-da. I was trying to do a part 2 interview with Chris Mad Dog Russo. I waited for him. I was waiting for him to wrap the show up, but I guess he was talking to other people. I was going to ask him, like, last year I interviewed you and you told me that Caleb had no shot of being better than Jaden Daniels. Now what? That's what I was waiting to say, but he was taking too long. He was a guest on Stu Got's show. So, but yeah, this kind of goes to the next topic I want to talk about. And this is something I had a debate with our guy Mikey about. I told him that I'm Super Bowl or bust for the Bears next year. He said he's got to see how stuff plays out. He still feels like this is a couple years. We've had a couple people say, the Bears are 2 years away, da-da-da-da. I'm like that scene in Uncut Gems where KG told the jeweler, why you going to show me something if I can't have it? They were 15 yards away from being in field goal position to make the NFC Championship game. So, no, I am not going to lower my standards. Now, definitely this is based off what they do this offseason. If they run into the offseason, we still got the same problems on the defensive line. Not only do I think they're not going to be Super Bowl bust, I find it hard to believe they're going to win the division. Because let's just be all the way real. This division was a great division. The worst team in the division still won 9 games. And the Bears went 4-6 in the division. Not 4-6. Was it 2 whatever the record was? Was it 2-4? 2-4 in the division. So they still have stuff they still got stuff to work on. So they definitely have to build on that defensive line. Left tackle is an issue now because Isaac Trapilio is going to miss probably all of next season. And if he does, by the grace of God, does come back mid-season, it's going to take a while for him to get back in the form off an injury like that. So I'm looking at it if the right moves are made, and this to me is going to be the career-defining offseason for Ryan Poles. Incredible offseason last year. That was by far his best offseason I'm not gonna call it a 10 out of 10, but it was at least 8 out of 10. He revamped that offensive line to perfection. You got 2 Pro Bowls out of it, and you got an All-Pro out of it. Darnell Wright finally hitting his stride. Most of your offensive picks hit. You know, Colston Loveland looks like the grab of the draft. Luther Burden was great. You know what I'm saying? And your quarterback that you drafted the year prior is ascending in the superstar mode. Well done. Well done, Ryan. But now, the task is, can you maintain the level you got? Because now the Bears are going to be the hunted. People know that you can't just look at the Bears on the schedule. The Bears are no longer the homecoming game. When you play the Bears, whether you're on the road or when you come into Soldier Field, you know you're going to have a problem on your hands. And I never thought I would say this, but shout out to Jordan Love. And this is why I'm going to give a shout out to Jordan Love. I don't know if y'all saw his interviews during Super Bowl week. He interviewed with Kay Adams, and I think it was Chris Sims and Mike Furio. And he was like, man, shout out to the Bears, man. They playing well. And, you know, yeah, they talking crazy right now doing the trees red, but that's what you get to do when you win. Now, it's our job to come back and respond. I'm like, that's the kind of stuff I want to hear in the rivalry. Not that crying that Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson, daddy, and all them old Packers who can't even play anymore are talking. That's what I want to hear from Jordan Love. Like, yeah, y'all got it. Fair play. But we're going to be back on y'all next year. That's what we want to keep that up, that competitive stuff. So the Bears need to be prepared to maintain that level they had and surpass it because people are going to be coming for you. And, you know, what's it going to be like in a year 2 for them? And that's what they got to work on. So if Ryan Poles has the offseason that I am expecting him to have, where you make that defensive line at least respectable, and you find an option for left tackle, and you find a way to retool the secondary, I think I am in my rightful way of thinking this is Super Bowl or bust, at least for my expectations. Bang, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think about my reasoning? Do you think this is Super Bowl bust for you, or should the fans think about it that way as well?
You know what, Scott? I'm not going to tell you how to think on this one. This is one I am not going to tell you how to think. The reason why I'm not going to tell you how to think is because I probably would think the same way, not only based off of the season that we had, but based off what we seen from the 2 teams that went to the Super Bowl and the 4 teams that was in the NFC and AFC championship games. So I'm not going to tell you how to think. Do your thing. If your belief in the Bears is that deep, then do your thing. I will not tell you differently. I'm not that person, though. Not yet. I need to see what they're going to do on the defensive line before I make that jump. I need to see what they're going to do at left tackle because Ozzie Trapillo is probably not going to be back until the middle of the middle of the season. Theo Benedict did sign a qualifying offer 1-year deal, but he's not going to go in as your starting left tackle. And I don't think Braxton Jones will be back either. At the 25th pick, the Bears had the 25th pick. Do you go defensive line or do you go offensive tackle? And they would have, I believe, they will have a pick there to get one or the other. So that's going to be a big decision. You're going to be looking at contracts. Are we going to restructure some? Are we going to be letting go of somebody like a Edmonds, excuse me. But if you let him go, then you got to have a plan on who you're going to replace him with. Demario Davis is somebody that I've seen seen people pair with the Bears, but he's like 30, like mid to late 30s. So I don't need no stopgaps on that side of the ball. I need you to build out your team, not just for this year, but for the next couple of years. So it's really depending on the draft and free agency before I make that jump. But if I'm a Bears fan, if I'm a Bears player, and I look at the teams that made it to the NFC and AFC championship game and the teams that went to the Super Bowl, I feel like I'm close. I feel like this team is close, and I wouldn't blame any fan saying, "Yo, this is Super Bowl or bust for me next year."
So here's my before I get to Dante, here's my backup question for you. So what do you? So basically, what's your personal expectations like for a season? Now, granted, this is assuming that Ryan Poles has at least a decent off season. What are you not allowing? What are you not accepting? I mean, for next season.
I'm not accepting the division championship. Now that I can tell you right now, I'm not accepting this team winning 9 games next season. We know who they play. Even though these are playoff teams, These are very much winnable games. I am not accepting the Bears not winning the division championship. I think even with the teams that we have right now, the Bears are better than the Packers. They're better than Minnesota. And the only team that you got to look at because they beat you twice is the Detroit Lions. But I don't think the Detroit Lions are going to be good enough to win the division next year either. So to me, a division championship is the floor.
Okay, fair play. Dante, what's your thoughts on next season, expectations that you personally have, and expectations you think the fans should have?
Relax. Everybody just calm down. Everybody just calm down. We had schedule, bro. Like
there's no such thing as a schedule in the NFL.
Yes, it is.
Really
this whole window, anything. If you have a good GM, you have a good quarterback, you have a good head coach, you got an opportunity to win. And I think we have that. So in terms of this whole window and strike now, nah, bro. Keep building the team. I think I look at teams like Philadelphia who have been competitive over the decade and have won multiple Super Bowls, have lost Super Bowls, and have continued to make the playoffs. I think until the Chicago Bears get into a mode where that's the norm in Chicago, then we can talk about Super Bowl or bust. We have been ass for a decade. Let's dial it back. I understand we are excited, but no, it's no way in hell you look at that Chicago Bears team and say, well, Super Bowl or bust. Yeah, we could have did a lot this year, but teams are going to be different next year. As we know, the same way every year we look at strength of schedule, and then by the end of the season, you look at the teams that's the teams that have won, the teams that have lost, and it's like, damn, I guess that really didn't matter. Like, it all sound good based off last year, but no, I can't go Super Bowl or bust. That's why I really love when Ben Johnson said, when somebody asked him, how do you build off this? He said, there is no building off this. You're back to square one. You didn't win. Like that's the mentality you need, because that speaks to what you said, Scott, about, there really is no window in the NFL. You gotta strike with the iron's hot. You gotta win when you can win. And so for them to say, hey, we lost, it's over, back to square one, I'm with that. That's the mentality I have. So I'm not concerned with a window or anything like that. As long as my team is on the same page with my head coach, my quarterback, we smooth. I'm with you when you say this is a big offseason for Ryan Poles, but everybody else know we smooth.
Okay. Here's my follow-up question. I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked Bang. What are you not accepting next season?
The only thing that would piss me off next season is regression by Caleb. Like if his interception number suddenly blows up, when he's fumbling the ball, that type of thing would really be unacceptable. Another thing that would be disappointing, I don't know about unacceptable, is if they just continue to load up on offense and say, we're going to try to, piecemeal it with the defense and see what we could do. We got prospects at this size and this, that, and the third, and not really spend no money, go bargain shopping like we always do. And the guys end up getting hurt or just being mediocre. But those are the things that would really piss me off for next year. But other than that, like I said, I think they had a schedule. So if you won one less game next year, like you said, the offense took steps, X, Y, and Z. It's certain things that I wouldn't be upset with. But Super Bowl ain't really on my radar right now.
I hear what you're saying. I disagree, because I just don't think there's a such thing as windows in the NFL. Like, it's just shit changes too much. And this is also
wait, but hold on, time out. Counterpoint, if you feel like shit changes too much, then why are we concerned about striking right now? If you have a young quarterback on a team-friendly deal, you have a head coach locked in, you have everybody in place. If things change on a daily basis, if you have that core in place, why are you, in a rush?
No, if you have, we have the two hardest things there are to get. That's a good head coach and a good quarterback. So yes, that will put you in position for playoff contention. But things just, like you said, things get different each year. Competition gets harder. Injuries. I think that we had a lot of injuries this year on the offensive side of the ball. I think we were pretty straight majority of the year. Obviously, Colston had a couple nagging injuries. Missed a couple games. The biggest injury obviously was Rome, but for the most part, the offense is pretty healthy. So you never know what might happen injury-wise. And I do believe, I keep saying this, the Chiefs are going to retool. I truly believe that. I don't know how long Andy Reid's gonna be coaching, but as long as they got 15, I believe they're gonna eventually find a way to retool. And if they're smart, they will take this season off and build the correct team around Pat. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to be thirsty to play Pat. You hear some rumors that Pat might be ready for week 1, which whatever, but that's what the talk is.
Don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, but their offseason moves will tell me what if they think that's realistic or not. My point being is, in the NFL, I just like to strike when the iron's hot. That doesn't mean I don't have faith in Caleb. That doesn't mean I don't have faith in Ben Johnson. For the first time in not only my life as a Bears fan, but in the Bears time period, they have something sustainable with the head coach and with the quarterback. But I just don't feel like if Ryan Poles, the only thing that pissed me off this offseason, if Ryan Poles goes into this offseason with the NBA or MLB team building mindset with, oh, I got 5 years to play with. No, you don't. No, you don't. I want to at least see some ambition on the defensive side of the ball. Now, that don't mean you got to go out and go sign him, trade for Max Crosby, go out and trade for Myles Garrett, even though I would love either one of those, but it's got to be something that makes sense. I want to go into this game knowing this defensive line is good enough to get consistent stops on the quarterback, because all that cardiac bear stuff was cute. Like Ryan Poles said himself. He said it himself in the year-end press conference. But we don't want to be that next year. So that's what I am looking forward to see. Are you going to be able to do that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. That will piss me off if he's going to try to grow the defense through the draft. We don't have enough high draft picks for that. So that's what would irritate me. So I got my eye on Ryan Poles this offseason to see what he's going to do. Before we get to the Bears in Arlington, which I want to spend a decent amount of time before we bring Pavy on, just quickly, do you have any bold Bears offseason predictions?
I think they make a splash in the D line. Whether it be Crosby or Garrett, I think they do make a splash in the D line.
I think that's the big one for me. I don't think they will.
I will say this: all reports are saying that they won't do it. Brad Biggs has said they won't do it. Dan Wiederer said they won't do it. Now, I don't know if this is, to me, from what I heard both of them said, it sounded more opinion-based, more than stuff they're hearing. And one thing we know about Ryan Poles in the time he's been general manager, none of his moves are ever reported. They come out of nowhere. Joe Tooney was not reported. You know what I'm saying? There was multiple moves that weren't reported. So I just feel, like you said, Dante, I think he's going to take a leap. I don't know if that's going to be a Myles Garrett. I don't know if there's going to be a Max Crosby. But I will say this. If there is some chatter about Detroit trying to get a Max Crosby, you got to step in line. Okay? Like, I'm not trying to deal with Hutch and Crosby twice a year. And that's not even including Micah when he gets healthy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I think it is more likely than not that the Bears go out and get some OG on that other side of the ball. I think they love Austin Booker. I think they bring in somebody to help mentor Austin Booker and be a third down specialist. But I don't foresee them spending draft capital and a potential player to go get Max Crosby. And as much as I would love to do, and I told you I don't want Max Crosby. I think it's Myles Garrett a bust. You can have whatever you want for Myles Garrett. So that's what I would like to see. That's the splash that I would like to see. But I think it's more likely than not that you get an OG that helped mentors Austin Booker.
Yeah, and Austin Booker was one of the guys who really impressed me. Like, he better not pull an AK or John Paxson, and he'll say something like, well, we got Dio coming and Shamar Turner coming. That's going to be like a mid-season trade edition. Yeah. And I do think Shamar Turner showed some promise before he got hurt. Dio was terrible before he got that Achilles injury. I'm sorry. It looked like a waste of money. And Austin Booker looks like he can be a guy, like you said, Bang, if he does get a mentor. You know what? Actually, and let me just answer this question real quick. Even though it ain't got nothing to do with the Bears. I think Burrow said to Cincinnati this year, but I will say this: the clock is ticking. If they don't make the playoffs this year, God bless Cincinnati. He
They gonna
got
make
his
look.
ups.
You see that?
He's
You
out
see
there
that
sounding
NS,
real emo.
You see that AFC North.
Yeah.
Look, man, the Cincinnati Bengals are gonna be a-okay. They're gonna be
Oh no,
a-okay.
I'm saying he got to stay healthy too. That's part of it as well. He got to stay
Right,
healthy
yeah,
too.
he got to stay healthy. But I
It
think
all
they're gonna be
depends on who's
a-okay.
going to be the GM in Minnesota. I can see them making a push for Burrow. Kevin McConnell is.
Okay, let's not even put that in the atmosphere, bro.
You got to be realistic, bro.
Let's keep that out here.
And another team, the Rams. Matt Stafford's coming back next year, but like you said,
yeah,
we don't know how much longer Matt Stafford's going to be there. And Sean McVay can play with anybody, so it's some teams to look at that. Like Joe Burrow will be a plug and play kind of guy, so he got.
I can see Rams. Thank you, Orlando. This is what I was about to say. This is an ethical move that'll make sense to me. If he did something like sign Trey Hendrickson, which I don't think is going to be an egregious price tag, and then trade for Chris Jones, if you could call Kansas City like, hey, what you want, that's something that makes sense that I like. There's moves on the table that ain't got to be a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett. And I see a lot of people in the media this week talking about, well, I probably wouldn't have traded for Khalil Mack. Look, I don't care how that window ended. I would have still traded for 2018 Khalil Mack every day of the week. Khalil Mack gave me some of my most fun times as a Bears fan. And for those first 2 years, he was must-see TV. I take Khalil Mack
for a Hall of Famer.
I take Khalil Mack now on a decent deal to just add.
OG to mentor Austin Booker.
Yes.
And
bring Khalil home. I said this last offseason, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not expecting him to be 18, 19, sack Khalil Mack like he was in 2018. But he can give me some respectable like 6, and you add that on with like a Trey Hendrickson or something, that'd be good. So my bold prediction is I think the Bears make a big move at defense in the DL, whether it's the top tier or maybe even something that's ethical like a Trey Hendrickson, Khalil Mack, Trey Henderson trade for Chris Jones. I just feel I'm going to give Ryan Poles the benefit of the doubt. We all know that I am not a big fan of his. I even think even though I'm not a big fan of his. But I just think he's got a big move under his sleeve. Now, final Bears topic, then we're going to bring Pavy on in about 10 minutes. And then, we're going to get Dante out of here after this topic. But the Bears Stadium news is back up, man. Sounds like the governor, Mr. J.B. Pritzker, has come to his senses. And it seems like him and the Bears have met a couple times this week. And there's progress being made. And it sounds like there's going to be a pivot back to Arlington, which I've been saying, I think all of us have been saying since day one, that at the end of the day, the Bears just didn't buy that land just to not build there. The Bears ain't got money like that, just be buying land. Now, the caveat here is Indiana is still tossing the draws. They're like, look, we'll pay whatever. We don't care. And I know there's a report that said Iowa wanted something, but I'm not even gonna pay attention to that. Bears ain't going no damn Iowa. Like let's cut that out right now. That's not even. Shout out our guy Jay Hood, and I think it was Yurko went to the Hammond site, and it was like, hey, look, you can see the Sims Tower from here. So Indiana's still like, yo, we'll drop the draws. We don't care. Now, Bang, I'm gonna go to you because I think you know more about this than I do. What's the current update on everything, and does it feel like we're going to Arlington?
I mean, you said it. The Illinois General Assembly and Illinois politicians are talking. Don't know what Roger Goodell said. I have a feeling of what he said. And now they talking. So some people didn't want to necessarily call it a bluff. It still might not be, because I think based off what I'm reading, that Hammond is probably the most logical choice if the Bears were to go to Northwest Indiana. Arlington is talking as well, because the majority of the conversation is built around taxes. And the Bears are not trying to get hit with a hefty tax bill. They want to be able to build and be able to recoup off of it and not have a lot of taxes, just like most billionaires and most organizations, where Hammond in Indiana, as you said, is willing to give up the draws. I think we're going to find out in the next couple of weeks where the Bears are going to go. It still would not shock me. It still would not surprise me if they go to Hammond. just off of the strength of what you was talking about earlier. Where was the Super Bowl at? Santa Clara. Where were we at? San Jose and San Francisco. New York, Super Bowl. It's in New Jersey. Where was everybody at? New York. It would not shock me or surprise me if that big ass stadium in Hammond turns into Bears country because they own everything. They up in there like Mr. Wesley on Roadhouse. But they have all of the Super Bowl events and big parties and all of that stuff. Once the Bears get the Super Bowl in like 2020, 2033, 2034, stuff like that, it still wouldn't shock me if the same thing you went through in Santa Clara happens here. But we're going to find out in the next couple of weeks what's going to happen. And right now, if I'm JB Pritzker, I am not giving the draws up for the Bears, but we're negotiating in good faith to make sure that that happens. And also the Arlington Heights mayor and government there as well.
Yeah, I just feel like for somebody who might be planning a presidential run, can't allow his biggest asset to leave the state. They're leaving the city. Like people who still got dreams of a stadium in Chicago, let that go. It's just not gonna happen. I got
Nobody
dreams
wants that
of
damn
one day,
Michael Reese.
except for Dante. I still have dreams of the Bulls being respectable in an NBA franchise again. I know that's not gonna happen. So we gotta let go
dreams
of
cup
things.
holders. That's what you got dreams of.
Yeah, I got dreams of cup holders in the United Center. I got dreams of them taking that 1996 Michael Jordan Haynes ad off the walls of the third 300 section at the United Center. If you go on the first two sections of the United Center, it looks like 2026. Go upstairs. There's still lights that are out there, and it looks like 1996 up there. You got to get that together. But I digress. My point is the Chicago thing's dead. Enjoy all of these big nights in Soldier Field over the next, 5-6 years. Big playoff games over that time, because that time in Soldier Field is cooked, okay? It's going to be somewhere. And one thing that this playoff run showed me is I don't want to say I'm anti-dome, because I'm not anti-dome. And I do believe having a dome would be great for media, but we not in the cold any damn way anyway for the most part, so I don't really care. But the spectacle that I saw during this year's playoffs, I don't want a dome no more. I don't. I know they're going to get one, or at the most it'll be a retractable roof, but I don't want that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter where this stadium is at, because everybody who's complaining about prices, let's be real, it costs $450 just to look at the Walter Payton statue. Let's be all the way real about that. If you can't afford to get in the Soldier Field, you ain't going to be able to afford to get in here. So it don't really matter. Number two, Bears fans are Bears fans. They would watch this team on the moon if that's what the stadium was. I know as Chicagoans, we're proud of our city and we want everything in our city. Who cares? Everybody's like, oh, Indiana Bears. Nothing gets under my nerves more than the Indiana Bears thing, because it's like, let's think logically, people. Nobody calls the Giants and the Jets the New Jersey Giants and the Jets. And I don't know if y'all been to MetLife, but I done been to MetLife 2 times. It take about an hour, maybe longer in traffic to get from over there. That's in Hammond, Indiana, and Arlington ain't that far. I just said my thing about San Francisco that I've been ranting about for a week. The Dallas Cowboys don't play in Dallas. They play in Arlington. I could be here all day long. So the point is, I just want a nice world-class stadium that the Charter franchise deserves. And I also feel like Kevin Warren's been getting a little bit too much stick. I think he's getting a lot because he's a black man, but I'm not going to go on that. But I also do think he underestimated how hard it was going to be because of how easy it was in Minnesota. Minnesota politics are nothing like Illinois politics, more specifically Chicago politics. So as a fan, as a media member, I just want this to be over. Just pick where you're going to build the stadium, whether it's Arlington, whether it's Hammond or Gary or whatever, and let's move on. So we can get ready to have that stadium in 2030, 2031, wherever they plan on being. So, Dante, what's your final thoughts on this? And when do you think that the shovels will be in the ground for this endeavor?
It'll be Arlington. It'll be Arlington at the end of the day. Like you said, it's career suicide for Brandon Johnson or JB Pritzker to let them leave Illinois. So that's not going to happen. They'll figure that out. That's why those are the only reasons why I think there is still some hope for a stadium somewhere in Chicago. Just off the strength that losing the Bears is just such a bad look. It's such a terrible look. Lightfoot was lucky to get out of there before this really came to a head. But even when she was in there talking tough, she was gonna buckle. Like at the end of the day, you can't lose that team. So I think Arlington, simply because you own the land and teams talk about owning the space around their stadium just for the sake of revenue. I would be more confident in Arlington if the gentleman who is the minority owner had more stake in the team, because he actually has money. They showed, I think he has double the net worth.
Oh yeah, Pat Ryan.
Yeah, Pat Ryan has double the net worth of the Chicago Fire owner, who is 100% financing his own stadium.
And he built the Everson Stadium with his own bread.
There you go. So I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if the McCasseys were able to just give up a little leeway and allow the guy with the cash to actually, make this happen, I'm sure we can get a stadium in Chicago. But I mean, Arlington, you own the land, you want to own everything around it, make it happen. So I think that will take place just simply because you can't lose the Bears. So I think that's my final take on it. We can keep going back and forth. They can put as many, like I said, Hallis Harbor, the entire city of Gary. I don't care what you try to offer. Like, I think that the team is not crossing state lines here. And I understand that somebody who moved to the South Burbs, I understand how close Hammond is. It's right on the state line. It ain't far at all. It's actually closer than Gary. It's closer than Arlington, damn near. But you own that land. They're gonna go to Arlington.
Did y'all see the I guess like the pictures of what the new Chicago Fire Stadium is gonna look like?
Yeah, it look crazy.
Looks very nice. And I do not watch MLS football unless it's messy, but I will be there.
You heard Beckham is he's closely monitoring Ronaldo's situation. So he may try to get Ronaldo and Messi to play together one time before it's all over. Inter Miami, new stadium about to open.
Yeah,
it looks like one big ass sports bar. Like when I look at it, it looks like
it looks like a perfect place. Like MLS plays games on the summer, and I also think that Chicago Fire are allegedly going to try to get a big name to come play.
They're trying to get Neymar.
They're trying to get Neymar, and they're trying to get Lewandowski from Barcelona.
Oh, so but you know what? Though?
I will be there every weekend.
Yeah, but no. You know they MLS
they almost got Messi.
Yeah, but no, MLS switched their schedule to match the rest of the world because they want to be taken more serious. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, they trying to get Neymar. They trying to get Lewandowski.
Nothing about none of this.
Yeah, they trying to get Neymar and Lewandowski. It's a few big names they trying to bring to Chicago.
They almost got Kevin De Bruyne last summer, so they real close. They owner don't care. They
so these must be some cold dudes. These must be like.
Oh yeah. They what's called Arsenal fans talk about Kevin De Bruyne like he was King Von. So that's all you need to know about him. But that's all we got for the football portion. So Dante, we gonna let you dip. Let people know when are we getting the new high and outside? Spring training is already underway.
Yes, we are. I've been locking in with my co-hosts. A lot of different job schedules, but I say by the first week of March.
By the way, I have not kicked Courtney off the show. Okay.
Yeah, Courtney
she got a new gig. She got a new job, so it's harder for the gig. I have not kicked Courtney off the show.
And hockey started back up. So
hockey started back.
But no, first week of March, we'll be back at it.
Okay. So look out for that high and outside new season of baseball, man. These guys will have you locked in, man. So you can follow Dante at October Zonte on all social media platforms. Dante, we're going to holler at you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right now we are going to bring in a friend of the program, one of the guys who was responsible for this good YouTube channel that we're on right now. That is H&B Media, the one and only, our summer sessions co-host, Mr. Pavito himself. You can follow him at Pavy World on all social media platforms. Pav, how are you enjoying the most hectic weekend, one of those hectic weekends in Los Angeles?
Well, Grammy week was
Grammy week is always hectic.
This year that was
different. More hectic than usual.
Yeah, bro. It felt like pre-COVID LA.
Like
pre-COVID LA. It's a lot going on, but it hasn't really started yet. Obviously, All-Star really don't start until like Thursday night, Friday night. But I definitely know
Friday night.
Yeah, so like tonight I know like it's a bunch of things going on tonight. But yeah, man, it's been cool. I knew that All-Star weekend was back when I ran into a woman I haven't seen since I last hung out with her in Miami 4 years ago. It's like, oh, okay, so All-Star Weekend is
hilarious.
We're back.
I remember the last All-Star Weekend, which was 8 years ago now. 8 years ago. 8 years ago now. It was the same weekend that Victory Lap dropped. It was the same weekend the Black Panther dropped. And I remember because that's how remember we went to the Skills Challenge, the All-Star Friday night. We went to All-Star Friday night.
Yeah, we went to
Damien,
we went to the
me and Damien finessed
World,
our way into the 100 section by talking to the security about Victory Lap. That's how we got over there. It said David Stern is rolling over in his grave. What's happening in the NBA? So I don't even like calling it the halfway mark because it's not the halfway mark. Halfway mark is like Dr. King Day. We got like 27 games left. 27, 26 games left. We at the point where LeBron just retired. Like at this point, it don't even feel like LeBron's enjoying playing basketball. Yesterday, I think it was a couple days ago, he was just like, it was like, what's wrong with the Lakers offense? He's like, we just ain't that good. He said, we're not a championship team. He said, I done been on 4 championship teams. This ain't a championship team. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So my question for you, first of all, I have no idea how this All-Star works. I know it's World versus USA. Katie kind of jokingly called out Jokic and Luka, even though I don't feel like he was all the way joking. What should people expect this weekend from all the events going on? Because for somebody who's been watching from the outside, it looks wild confused.
Listen, I know y'all brought me here to talk about, but bro, I don't like, bro, like, what are we doing, bro? Like, just like with every event, what are we actually doing, bro? Like, I think it's very, bro, like, as a kid, I think we can all attest, All-Star Weekend damn near used to be one of the most fun times of the season, bro. Like, you didn't miss a single thing. You watched everything. Also, Saturday night was great. The game was actually still the highlight of what was going on. Like, you got very excited. Like I used to watch the full celebrity game growing up.
I would every All-Star Weekend. I would order some food on that Friday. As soon as I got home, and even I probably stopped doing this maybe a decade ago, but like even in like high school, college, I would get some food. I would watch a celebrity game.
Bro, the whole thing, bro.
Celebrity 3-point
contest. Man, inside stuff.
Inside stuff. And stuff on Saturday night, they have the full day schedule. I would watch the 3-4 hour Inside NBA pre-game show.
Bro, I just think it's a shame what has happened to All-Star Weekend. Obviously, like the dunk contest, I think there's limitations to what the physics, what the human body can do, obviously. But at the same time, like some dude from the Magic in the dunk contest, I didn't even know he was in the league. Like, we don't even like, bro, at least back in the day, you had Desmond Mason. He played. You knew who Desmond Mason was if you watched basketball, right? Like, you had guys in like the dunk contest that you knew. I think the 3-point contest would be dope. I think it's very interesting. Dame is, gonna play in it. Obviously, he has a torn Achilles, so I think that's very interesting to see. I think watching, I think the casual fan getting introduced to like Colin Kaepernick was great. I think the 3-point contest always be dope. But like the All-Star game, it's like, bro, what are we like, bro? We got to do all this because you don't want to play hard. Like, bro, we got to put the world against this team, against the veteran team, against the young team, because y'all don't want to
change nothing.
Like, bro, line it up East and West. I actually like when they used to pick teams. I thought that was dope. I thought like picking teams brought us some funny. I thought picking teams brought us some funny moments. There's some funny memes, like that time when Harden got picked last, and like they was like I thought it brought us some funny times. And like, bro, I just hate what's happened to All-Star Weekend. And granted, it could be a thing with all sports, because I mean I remember even watching the Pro Bowl growing up. And now it's
that's why I told somebody today. Really, all All-Star games, kind of trash. Like MLB got the best All-Star game, but even then, I don't really care that much. I only watch for the home run derby. Like the home run derby is the only real event I watch. Like the Pro Bowl, this is how much the Pro Bowl fell off, people. The Pro Bowl is a 7-on-7 flag football game, and on top of that, they don't even put it in the stadium no more. This was in a conference room in the Moscone Center in downtown San Francisco. Okay. I was wondering why there was such a low media access count. Because there's no room. There was like 4 bleachers total for fans and for media. It's ridiculous. And I feel that the NBA ain't there yet, but they're very close.
They getting close, bro,
to being the Pro Bowl. And this is the thing when people, I know we have this argument every year. But everybody, I know I seen Vincent Goodwill and my boy Clinton Yates were having a healthy debate on Twitter about, I think Clinton said something like, "Oh, the All-Star game's always been trash." I was like, "That's not true."
No, that's cap.
Now, that's not true. It's not always been trash. Now, am I gonna act like there wasn't always blowouts? Every time, and it's my time, at least growing up, from as a kid to I'll say at least college, first 2 quarters, first 2.5 quarters, whatever. If that game's in between 25 points, Mark's is like, all right, we hooping now. You know what I'm saying? I remember LeBron dunking on the entire Western Conference in 2008. I remember the elite 2001 Eastern Conference comeback. I remember Michael Jordan trying to have his final moment in the All-Star game before KG and Kobe was like, old nigga, this is my thing now. Like, and even the last one 6 years ago, when everybody wanted to play well because Kobe died, and we had a great game out.
I mean,
now, they just don't care, bro.
I mean, bro, even like the 1998 game, I don't know what the score was, but that's a legendary game.
Kobe
like I don't remember what the hell the score was, but it don't even matter. It just gave us legendary moments. I mean, even the game when Shaq dunked on David Robinson, I don't know what the score was. Magic Johnson, when he came, I don't know what the score was. But we still had legendary moments from these games, and now I just feel like, and granted, it could be a thing of like, I feel the same way about like in the music industry when you have the shows, right? Like you have the BET Awards, the Grammys, like because you see these guys so much, and you know it's like maybe you get so much access to them and so much media that maybe the things don't hit as hard, and maybe the players don't care as much. You know, maybe it doesn't seem larger than life like it once used to because of the access. But I think it's the same thing that happened with the Grammys, like the BET Awards. Like the Grammys used to be an event. The BET Awards used to be an event. I don't feel the need to watch it. That's how I feel with this All-Star game. Like I genuinely, for the first time in my life, do not feel the need to watch a single event. Like none of them.
I didn't watch All-Star Weekend last year. I ain't watched this. And this guy right in the chat. He's right. Adam Silver is a bad storyteller. If that's anything you want to give Raj Goodell, he is a good storyteller. Okay,
man.
So I was gonna bring that up because remember, I think it might have been on Summer Sessions or it might have been on here. But I went on a rant around NBA TV, how out of all of the channels led by the Big Four, that the NBA TV is the worst. You have the best library outside of the NFL.
Super classic library.
And you don't use it. That's one. And then two, the people that you put in place is boring. The content that you bring out is boring. That's not helping it. I will say this. When Isaiah Thomas a couple of weeks ago went viral, I think Isaiah
Mike again.
Right. I said what Isaiah Thomas said is right. He just shouldn't have put the Michael part up in it. This generation spends so much time talking about the past instead of talking about now. So that also to me aged this. Because as I had told my son, who's 12 years old, who also said this. He said, these players make me go and want to go look at the past because that's all they talk about.
Yeah.
When we were coming up, we wasn't having debates about who was better, Michael Jordan or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
We was having debates about current dudes. You know, people
having debates about current people. But the content around those current players was better. Yeah, Michael Jordan, come fly with me. You have Shaq with a tape.
I got that on Blu-ray.
Like you had team, like the content was better. And here's the thing, and what people I don't think really realize, because the moment is not there no more, and maybe they got hoodwinked. I don't know. Maybe they got hoodwinked. The NBA was built off of content. The NBA is fantastic. The All-Star game. I love this game. It was built off of marketing, content marketing.
Even look at the early 2000s, NBA first league to really embrace hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a big part of it.
So what, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I'll just say what I saw. Now you're gonna get over 200 content creators to come down to All-Star Weekend,
Bro,
and then you're gonna flood it with content.
Like,
They don't want to see that.
Yeah.
My son, again, I'm glad that I have a young person in the house. My son wants to see content for the game.
Yeah.
He don't want to see no content creators doing TikToks.
Not even that, bro.
There's a way you can have the content creators involved without it being that. There's mad content creators doing Super Bowl.
But the content gotta be, but the content has to revolve around ball.
Bro. Last year they had fucking Mr. Beast in between it wasn't even a flow to the goddamn thing. What are we doing, bro? What are we actually doing? If you put together a good product, you're gonna have content. Everybody has a goddamn phone. You're literally gonna have content to make a good product.
Everybody has a podcast.
You don't need 200 content creators. It's the NBA being lazy. There's no reason random YouTubers should make better NBA content on YouTube than the NBA.
Yeah.
And you got you in your pockets are deep as shit. And random YouTubers are on YouTube. Like the NBA content I consume is literally by random YouTubers. I haven't watched NBA TV the entire season, and games don't come on there no more because they come on Amazon. I literally have not cut that channel on this entire year, literally the whole year.
I know last year the big complaint was how the game was covered. One thing I got to give Amazon Prime and NBC, they have done a damn good job of actually covering the games. Maria Taylor, friend of the program, Taylor Rooks, they do a great job with the content. By the way, I think it's cool that I can call Adam Schefter friend of the program now. Shout out to Bang for shouting that out. Friend of the program, Adam Schefter. But that has been well. And the thing that I think makes me, I think me and Pavy, we were talking about this, about what sports are viewed the most in the United States. Now, NBA is still in the top 3, but it's losing steam with younger fan bases because of the way the NBA does. They have talent. The talent is not the issue. They have talent. But I just think it's the way they're marketing the game. I shouldn't look at a list of biggest sports in America and I see soccer about to pass these dudes up. I shouldn't see that with the NBA. And now here's a good question, right? Do the kids care about stories? Bang, you know more than I would. You got to get.
Yes. I could tell you right now. Yes. My son watches stories from the past more than he watched now because he's learning. My son don't know shit about Anthony Edwards but his shoes.
First off,
and what he see on 2K.
First off,
yes.
Why are we asking what the consumer wants? The consumer don't never know what they want. You give them and you make them like it.
Give them,
the
right.
consumer don't never know what they want.
And I'm telling you, because if this was the case, when these documentaries and stuff drop, people wouldn't watch it. Yes, it's 2 things here. 2. 1, again, I got a 12-year-old, and that man still watches The Last Dance. He wasn't there for none of them marks, and he still watches The Last Dance. Me and my wife went to a antique shop, and she saw, remember when the Bulls did that picture book?
Yeah.
They did that black picture book. She was about to buy that for him because she knew he was going to look at it. It ain't about the past. It ain't just about the past. It's about learning about the people. And in some cases, as we see on social media, you don't want to learn nothing about these. You're going to learn that some of these dudes are freak boys because they put it all on social media. You're going to learn that they dumb as hell. Like, they're not aiding into it. Because let's go back. Orlando, I'm about to get old on you real quick. Let's go back to the 90s, the early 90s. Let's go back to the early 90s to the 2000s. You know who used to do a great job at that? The NBA. Why? Just go look at GQ. And when they used to have Michael Jordan or Dominique Wilkins on the cover of GQ, and they'd be like, who's the most stylish NBA players? The content that they used to create. Go ESPN, the magazine. You want to know my favorite ESPN, the magazine article? Michael Jordan and Chris Rock.
Oh,
that's when I was like, oh, Michael Jordan, a wild boy. Like, right? Content is king.
Remember when they did they had like different artists. Like, remember the Steve Francis ESPN magazine with Destiny's Child?
Yeah.
And they had like, I don't know who Kobe was with, but they had like each player was with like a performer from their city that they played in.
Yeah, let's even go with this. Let's even go with this as we talk about content and stuff. Content creators, when they be doing their little TikToks, that go quick.
Yeah.
That go quick. You don't learn nothing. And people still want to know. But that's just the kids. Now for the people like me who are now in their mid-40s, I'll be 44 in May. Damn. We don't see the content.
It just hit you.
You hit my own damn. So y'all wouldn't do it.
Damn.
Nah, so I hit my own. Where's the content? Where's the content for us to look back on our day? You know, I meant to hit you, Scott. I watched the San Francisco 49ers documentary.
I didn't watch it because I refused to pay for Epix or whatever it was on.
It was on AMC. Luckily, I had it.
Yeah, AMC, yeah.
And it was good. Like, I was sitting there watching, like, yo, this shit was better than I thought it was going to be. And I wasn't around for half of this. Like, I wasn't really paying attention to football for 85% of what they about to show because they only showed the Steve Young Super Bowl for a little bit. This was really the 80s 49ers. I was like, oh, okay. Where is the content from the past so people like me can go look at it? And where's the content for the kids now? And now that LeBron, wait a minute, I'm just going to end it like this.
Go ahead.
Now that LeBron James, KD, Steph, James Harden, all of these marks old. What did the NBA do a good job anytime you saw somebody about to go? They rolled out the red carpet for these dudes. They didn't wait until 5 years from now to roll out some content. You start seeing bits and pieces spread on everywhere to talk about the rich history and legacy. When was the last time we saw anything about the rich history and legacy of Kevin Durant?
Never.
Never.
That's why I use him. Never. That would have never happened to David Stearns, the NBA. Never happened to David. Are you a star? You a superstar? Oh, we go ahead and put that DVD out.
There's been Edwards DVD out 2 seasons ago when he made that first playoff run. If you'd have had an Edwards DVD out super quick, we know more about Luka. We would know more about Jokic than just the fact that he likes his horses during the offseason. Now, here's why I say this, and we'll close out this. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but before I got one more question for Pat, but just kind of go to both of y'all points. Well, Pat, you were saying some of the best content you find is from NBA content creators on the internet, and how you saying, Bang, like your son wants to learn more about the history about the NBA. What helped me get into soccer was Peacock has an entire library of like documentaries about the history of the sport, history of the Premier League, and like they got these different content creators that I was able to learn everything that I never watched. I can go back and watch old stuff and learn from these different documentaries. I feel like the NFL has a decent amount of that too. The NBA has too rich of a history. Do not have the same thing. And I also think it's inexcusable because the amount of young talent, and we can talk about how marketable they are, whatever, to our face get booed, but they've got too much talent for it just to be in the place we're in right now. So, final question for you, Pav. Got 27, 26 more games after All-Star break is over. What's the number one thing you're going to be looking for as we get into this playoff race in the second half of the season?
Number one thing, I don't know if I can give you, one thing is the Thunder. Shea's hurt. I think Jalen Williams has a hamstring issue. So, like, just seeing how they finish the season. Also, the Pistons, obviously, they got that fight. They had some guys are going to be out because of the fight. But just seeing how they finish the season, the Knicks have been coming on strong. So, I guess if I can't really pinpoint one thing, but just seeing how teams finish the season. Yeah, like, even the Spurs, I think they went into the break winning, I think 5 straight games, maybe 5, 6 straight games in a row. Like, just seeing if Wimmy can stay healthy and seeing that team gel. So yeah, even like the Clippers, right? Like Kawhi, I think Kawhi is quietly having arguably, damn, it might be his best regular season in like a decade, to be fair. You know, so like even with the deals they made, like I don't think they'll fall off. And I think that, you know, if they can get into the playoffs and guys can say how they can at least be interested, you know, seeing how the Rockets continue to gel. So yeah, or even like a story like the Hornets. You know, the Hornets are actually finally winning games now. They might, you know, be a play-in team. And maybe they get to the playoffs, you know, and like so more so just seeing how some of these teams finish the season and, you know, seeing how we get into the playoffs. And I think it should be a very interesting playoffs this year because, again, we just like last year, we have new teams at the top. We have teams that, you know, haven't been good in a while that kind of are like planting their feet as we are the new good team. So for me, that's what I'm looking forward to.
My number one thing I'm interested in seeing is two things in the East. Is this going to be the Knicks? Do the Knicks actually have a shot this year? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the Jose Alvarado deal. You look at any player who just embodies a New York Knick to me. Number one, he's from New York, but he just looks like a New York Knick player. And I feel that, I mean, obviously, I think the favorite probably should be Oklahoma City, I'm guessing. But I don't think I think they have a great chance to come out the East. And can Detroit be that team that can stop them? Or is Detroit just one of those teams where they have a really good offseason and they just really, regular season, they just can't get it going in the playoffs? So that'd be something interesting to see for me as well. The old heads, I just feel like, you know, Katie and the Rockies, they playing well. The Lakers, record-wise, playing well, but I don't think anybody really expects anything from the Lakers. Like, I still think there's a battle here, but the Lakers kind of want LeBron to leave, but they don't really know how to tell him. Yeah, we kind of like even the quote. I don't know if it was from Pelinka where he said, "Oh, we're more prioritizing Luka's prime window than we are LeBron's."
Man, Rich Paul went on a podcast talking about trading people on the team
Paul having a podcast
is
still nuts.
He went on the pod talking about trading the second leading scorer at the time too. The second leading scorer mid-season, bro. While the man on the team, they don't care.
Yeah, the Lakers, and I get a lot of flack from this, but I always said I know they won a championship in 2020, but the Lakers ain't been the Lakers in about 15 years, bro. I'm sorry. The Lakers ain't been the Lakers, how we know them. The Lakers are very New York Yankee-ish right now. Now, granted, they actually won something the Yankees haven't, but the Yankees be walking around like, I ain't got it. The Dodgers are doing what the Yankees used to do. And there's no reason that somebody like a Kyle Tucker should have not been a Yankee. Or Shohei Ohtani would have been a Yankee if George Steinbrenner was still alive. So I kind of feel like the Lakers are teetering on the Yankee thing where we're only the Lakers by name now. And that's something where I think is dangerous for them, man. But that is all we got for y'all on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Pav, man, let them know what you got. Are y'all doing any new hoops and brews? Y'all doing anything for All-Star Weekend? Nothing? Or you got some? I know you got some new music out.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll record stuff and recap All-Star Weekend and talk about the I don't know, the shell of itself that it once was that we just discussed. But yeah, man, new music on the way. I got a song, a record out right now called New York Girls. So that's out right now. Make sure y'all go check that out. And like I said, new music on the way. I'm gonna drop a new project called Sorry I'm Jaded. And that should be out. Yeah, and that should be out soon. Just trying to finish it up now. But yeah, man. And as always, great talking to you guys.
Yes, sir. You can follow me at Barbchair Scott, all social media platforms. I will be back on Monday on Patreon per usual with the weekend recap. Where I'll recap what's going on this past weekend in sports. So you need to subscribe to the Patreon. The link is right there in the description box. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Going to be dropping a lot of stuff on there. Got some videos coming soon next week. Shout out to everybody who watched all of my Super Bowl content that I did while down in San Francisco. So, yeah, man. Bang. Let them know what's going on with you, what you got going on.
So a couple of things. Working on a brand new project that you guys will be hearing very, very soon. First Black Champ. We're going to be recording on this Sunday, so we're back. So go ahead and check that out. And some dude is on hiatus because shouts out to Mike B. His daughter is a dope bowler, and she's trying to get to the state. She's trying to get to the state tournament. So shouts out to Mike, his daughter. He's being a dad right now, but once the season is over with, we back to some dude. So basically, we hope that the delay is a little bit longer because we want to see her go to state.
Definitely shout out to Mike B. Shout out to his daughter for all of that. I got a project I'm working on with the homie Tosin too, so we'll update y'all when we got everything ready to present. But It's going to be a very dope project, man. So that is all we got. Enjoy y'all weekend. I will holler at y'all on Monday on Patreon, and we will holler at y'all next Friday on YouTube. We up out of here.